What's the most shameless double standard you've ever encountered? Last year I got into UCLA, which should have been this massive win, finally something that was just mine. But the second I told my parents, they didn't ask a single question, didn't show even a flicker of emotion. They just hit me with, "We can't afford your college fees." And that was it. No discussion, no sympathy, just a hard no. I didn't argue. I kept my head down and moved on. My younger sister even tried to convince them, but they weren't having it. I picked up a diner job off the freeway, long shifts, burned fingers, rude customers, and barely any sleep, but I never complained. I even helped with bills while Dad's business was sinking. Through it all, my sister had my back, always making me food, notes, whatever I needed to keep going. Meanwhile, our parents still threw birthday parties and went to spas like we weren't scraping by. Then this year, both me and my younger sister get into UCLA. Same school, same excitement, only this time, I didn't let it show. I was cautious and careful, because I already knew how this might go. And right away, I saw it. Mom's face twisted in panic like I'd just dropped bad news. Dad dropped his head on the table like I'd announced a death in the family. The room went silent except for the tea kettle whistling on the stove, screaming into the awkward air while they sat there frozen. Then Dad finally looked up and said, "We can't pay for both of you," and added, "Your sister's GPA is higher. She's always been the academic one." That's when it landed. This wasn't just about money, it was about who they saw as worth it. They didn't try for me last year, and they weren't going to try now. That throwaway line wasn't throwaway at all. It was the real reason, sitting there plain as day. They thought she was the better investment. They'd never looked concerned about my future, never paused their lives, never skipped a dinner out or changed a plan. But suddenly now, they were heartbroken over having to choose between their daughters. It was performative. But then my sister slid her acceptance letter across the table and said softly, "I got a full scholarship." Her voice was low, hands trembling, and tearful eyes. We didn't tell them earlier because we already knew how they'd react and try to blow my chance at college into a budget issue. And that moment was when everything cracked open. Mom dropped her spoon, and Dad sat motionless, caught off guard because now they couldn't take it back or pretend they hadn't already made their choice. Their whole story about sacrifice and doing what's best for the family collapsed right there. They weren't forced to choose. They just assumed I'd accept it again because I always had. But this time, I didn't accept it. Now I'm here, in my dorm room with books spread out on the desk, and the window cracked open to let in the city air. My sister's right across the hall, and we both made it. Not because anyone pulled strings or made sacrifices for us, but because we refused to let each other fall through the cracks. That first day of class wasn't some tearful, emotional family win. It was quiet revenge. For every double shift I took while they brunched. For every night I came home smelling like burnt oil while they relaxed in front of the TV. For the whole year they let me believe I didn't matter enough to even fight for. Double standards aren't always loud. Sometimes they're in what people choose to prioritize and what they say they can't afford. I waited and stayed quiet for a year. I'm not here because my parents did what they were supposed to. I'm here because I worked hard to earn my place.